it's me, Lakeisha. Welcome to Wednesday, and as you know, this is what I like to call Work in Progress Wednesday. And it's been a while. Y'all, I've been quite busy, and I have lots of work in progress. And as symbolic of even the point of this show is to showcase just, not just what I have going on, but just how sometimes things don't go quite as planned. And it's definitely my mission to do this every Wednesday, but as I mentioned, I've just been in the midst of a huge launch, a huge product launch, and so I'll share a little bit about that later. But anyway, I'm so excited to see you guys. This is my opportunity to just explore creativity and just some of those ups and downs. And something I was thinking about today was how so much of my life I felt like I didn't fit, right? So this is a message for my fellow Misfits. Some years ago, I attended a book event, so as an author and also as a reader, the Christian Book Lovers Retreat. And I will always remember this one moment I had with a fellow author and coach. And I was telling her about my book, Faith Beats Fear, and how it is so dynamic and it is so beneficial and it's so helpful. But it just didn't fit anywhere. Like, I couldn't figure out how to market it to a specific audience. And she said something that really stuck with me. She was like, because fear is everywhere. It's a part of our professional lives. It's a part of our personal lives. It's a part of parenting. It's a part of just all the things. And so stop trying to make it fit somewhere. And I think that as someone who has sometimes felt like I didn't belong or like I didn't quite fit, I think that I carried that over into my creative pursuit, in that I listened to the best practices and the experts and what they say about how we're supposed to market ourselves and to market our products. And I'm like, I need to find a place for this to fit. But really and truly, God had given me an idea and a product that was unique, and it just didn't quite fit. And I had to get to a point where I was okay with that. And I tell that story because I feel like a lot of us are multi-passionate, multi-talented, and we have lots of ideas, and we're curious about a lot of different things. We're interested in a lot of different things. And y'all, that's how God made you. Like, that's how He made me. I wasn't a nosy child, but I definitely was curious about how things work, and that carried over into adulthood, into even me wanting to pursue a degree in public relations and just getting involved in a field where I get to test out and look at a lot of different things. And so I know that there's that common phrase that, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. Well, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. I am embracing and I am using every single idea and talent that God gave me. I don't have to be a master at it all. I have the master on my side, and He gave me permission to do these different things. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't invest time and money in developing my craft and getting better. I'm all about continuous improvement and just learning how to do these things that I'm excited about better. And what I like to call execute with excellence. I feel like just because God gave me a gift or a talent, and His creative power is working throughout all of the different things that I do, that doesn't mean I need to show up halfway. Like, no. If anything, I want to just really, really, really show up and act like I'm His child and deliver on what needs to be done. And so I hope that this encourages you a little bit. Like, if you're one of those people where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm all over the place. And sometimes what happens when you're trying to fit in, you either put some of your gifts on a shelf. Like, I would say that's what I did, especially with my desire to draw and paint. I enjoy singing, and I think I felt like I had to make it a profession, or I had to make it a job for it to make sense in my life, when it's okay to have hobbies, y'all. It's okay to just do stuff because you enjoy it, right? It's okay to invest in classes and learning new things just because you want to. I mean, if people can spend hundreds of dollars on getting a new hairstyle, no, look, spend your money how you want to. But if people can spend money on that, if they call that self-care, or getting a pedicure and all these other things that we, box in or put the label self-care on, why can't discovering and developing your talents be a form of self-care as well, right? And so it doesn't have to turn into a side hustle. It doesn't have to turn into a new job. It can just be something you enjoy doing. And for me, I am interested in a lot of different areas. And again, I just feel like instead of trying to fit in, I want to be faithful. I want to be faithful with my assignments. I want to just give my best and always have my ear listening for ideas and implement. Because again, when you're trying to just fit in and make it all make sense, y'all, you're wasting time. Yep. You're wasting time. Not to put fear or any anxiety in you, but on my podcast, Between the Lines, I think this was actually the first episode, I shared this line in, it was from Deanna Cole's stand-up special on Netflix. And he talked about how breaking down time in a different way. So for instance, the average person in America lives until they're 78. I'm 38. And instead of saying, oh, I got 40 years, no, I got 40 summers, and I have 40 springs. I have 40 more New Year's Eves. And I'm not saying that that's how long I'm going to live. I hope I live till like I'm 110 or something. So even with that, I have 70 summers. And when you think of it in that term, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have quite as much time as I thought I had. And so while you're vacillating between, trying to figure out your perfect path, time is just passing you by. And that you don't have to find this perfect thing or this perfect start. You just start with one thing, one decision. When Paul talks about how God works all things together for us, y'all, he can't do anything if you do nothing. Like there have to be things that work together. And it may not make sense at the outset, right? For me, it does look like I do a lot of different things. I was doing an interview and that's what the interviewer mentioned. He was like, some people, they just stick to like one area, nonfiction. You're doing fiction, nonfiction, coaching, consulting, all these different things. And yes, they are various paths, but they lead to one ultimate purpose. And that is my belief that words change the world. And I want to teach and share with people how they can use their words for good, how they can understand that their words have power. And so whether you're reading my book and you see yourself on the page and you get inspired, or whether you're a writer and you're trying to figure out how to write your own book, I mean, all of these different activities lead up to one huge purpose that I feel like God is unfolding day by day. And a lot of times he's putting things on my plate that I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense until after I get started. So don't think that it's going to make complete, perfect sense. You're going to be 100% certain about something at the outset. That rarely happens. The only certainty I have is that I have a God on my side who's going to see me through. Whereas knowing how it fits ultimately in my life, sometimes I'm like, this makes no sense, right? And you're going to have people in your life where it will never make sense to them. They're going to always question what you're doing. You're going to have strangers who are going to question what you're doing or give unsolicited advice. And that's why, again, you have to be very, very in tune with God so that you can be confident, whether it makes sense or not, right? And so that's my little message for those folks who may be a little bit like me. And again, you're multi-passionate, you have all these different ideas, and you feel like you want to do it, right? Or you have dogs like mine who are going crazy right now. But speaking of doing all the things, I mentioned earlier that I had a product launch. And so I recently came out with my new journal. It's called Don't Post That, a guided journal for saving jobs, peace, edges, and lives. Y'all, this has been such a fun project. And I just thank you to all those folks who have gotten their journal. Y'all are amazing. It's been hard to keep this journal in stock. Because I shouldn't be shocked, but I am shocked at the response. Like, I knew that it was something that was needed. I knew that it would be something that would be fun, where, you know, you could just relax, y'all. Like, I feel like we've just gone through so much these past few months, this past week, this past year, that we have all this tension on the inside. And so I wanted to have something that would make you laugh, to make you smile, to bring a little cheer in your life. But I also wanted something that was practical and could actually make a difference. And so it's just been so well received. If you haven't gotten your copy, you can check it out, don'tpostthatjournal.com. Again, just thankful to everybody who's dived into this. I'm actually working on a spiral bound version because I don't know, you might be like me and you extra messy. Like, I'm just extra messy, y'all. I like having extra space to do like my coloring and stuff like that. And so it does make a difference when it's like spiral bound to have that extra space to journal and do things like that. And so this will be coming soon if you are like me and you need some extra space for your extra mess, right? But yeah, thank you so much to everybody that supported the launch of this product. It seems like I see every day something that I'm like, you shouldn't post that, or that's none of your business. Why are you even, you know, involving so much of your time and your energy? You know, if you stop scrolling and trolling, you might have time to do your devotional work, or you might have time to work on that talent or that skill. So that's me being petty right now. See, I'm being judgmental. The other thing that I'm excited about getting ready to launch, I have a writing and publishing coaching program called the 9 to 5 Writer Studio. And y'all, this is definitely, again, God knew, he knew that this would be something that I would enjoy, but I didn't know at the outset. But I love teaching. I love sharing with people how to write and how to produce a product. It looks like I'm super productive, and I am, because, you know, I produced this journal in 1 quarter, but it doesn't have anything to do with like talent or anything like that. It's actually, I have a process. And so for me, writing and publishing is an iterative process that I have, you know, this is my 5th publication. And so I kind of have it down where I'm like, oh, okay, so I know I need 2 days to do this, 3 days to do that. And that's what makes it easy for me to come out with books and stories really quickly, which honestly, I wish I could even come out with them quicker. And even though I'm able to produce stuff pretty fast and go from idea to implementation because I have a system in place. And that's the thing that I teach in the 9 to 5 Writer Studio. Like, I know what it feels like to have all these book ideas, all these story ideas, and want to finish something, but you just don't know what steps to take. And I spent all the time and all the money on, you know, creative writing classes at colleges, continuing education classes, reading all the books. I'm a part of several different groups and things like that. And so I wanted to create something that was a little more step by step. So you know what you need to do and you're prepared for the other stuff that comes along with writing. This is one reason why, if you've ever asked me for writing advice or said, well, Keisha, how do you write and publish a book? I probably pause and hesitate, because it is more than getting words down. It's more than having a perfect outline. It's more than choosing a book cover. I mean, those are some of the external things. And honestly, I feel like those are the easier parts. You know, getting the words down, that's an easy process I can teach you. The part that I like to help people with, and the part that I feel like is most important, is preparing you for those mental and emotional struggles you're gonna deal with. Because what blocks people from finishing their books, it's not talent, it's not intellect, it's not knowledge, it's not, you know, some of these other things that we all think it is. It's fear and doubt. You know, it's again, back to what I was saying earlier, it's like going back and forth about, oh, should I do this or should I do that? Or what would people say if I say this? What will they think about me? What if people hate it? Like, going through all of that, it wastes so much time. And the thing that I've learned about fear, having written a book about it and experiencing it my entire life, fear is very predictable. And every book that I've written, I've dealt with fear at certain phases of the process. And so what I like about having a course and providing that coaching is that when my writers are about to approach editing their book, I know what fear is going to say to them. I already know what it's going to do. And so I'm able to deliver the tools and the learning so that they can navigate around or over or through that fear instead of getting stuck and stopping, their work. They're able to push through because I've given them a heads up, like, okay, guys, when you get to this point in writing your book, this is what's going to happen. So it's not a surprise. So you don't feel like, oh, it's just me, or it's a sign that I'm not supposed to do this, or it's a sign that I'm not good enough. And so those are the things that we talk about in the 9 to 5 Writer Studio. There are 8 modules in the learning portal that focus specifically on writing, editing, publishing, promoting your book. And so it does give that tactical blueprint. But again, more than that, I just like the fact that my writers know that they're not in it by themselves. Like today is where we have our weekly write-ins. And so I write with my writers every week. They're writing their words and I'm writing mine because I'm a working writer. Like, I'm not just a writing coach. I'm actually an author I have books to finish just like you do. And so I think that can make a difference where I understand what you're dealing with and what you're going through and can chime in and offer you that advice and that support. And so to find out more information about that, just go to 9to5writers.com. That is the number 9, TO5 writers.com. Or you can check out the link in my Instagram bio to get some more information about that. And so, again, all this stuff that I have going on, I feel like it is a gift from God. I feel like I'm blessed to be able to use my talents and to use my knowledge and to share with other people so that we can have like a tremendous impact on this world. We see what's happening. There's so much pain. There's so much, frankly, there's just so many negative things that are happening. And it gets so overwhelming. And the only thing, 2 things give me hope. My hope in Christ. The other thing that gives me hope is that I see how he's working through me. I see how he's working through others, right? And so I realize when, I'm working with my writers, and we're a small but mighty group, one writer can write one book that one reader takes in and believes the message and applies that message. And that one reader changes their entire family. That entire family changes a generation. And so I just have a long view on the things that I'm doing right now. And I hope that you can begin to adopt that too. Like when I say we're works in progress, there's going to always be something for us to do, for us to fix. And for many of the things that you and I are working on right now, we may not even finish it. But that next generation, they're going to pick up where we left off. But they can't pick up if we never begin. And so please be motivated to start on whatever is on your heart, whatever is on your mind. I mean, if you're talking about writing, write a sentence, write a paragraph. You don't have to write the whole book. You can't write the whole book today. So just start and trust that, spiritually you're going to be guided along the way. And just don't let that fear and that doubt talk you out of it. So guys, that is my Work in Progress Wednesday show. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you were inspired, and I will see you guys next week.